In the book of Exodus, there's something called the tabernacle. Um, People may know that the Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years. The part of what they did during that time is they tried to live by God's commandments and serve God. But one really interesting thing, it actually pertains to art, is when they were building what was called the tabernacle. And the tabernacle was this sort of place of worship where Aaron, who's Moses' brother, actually a lot of people don't know that Moses has a brother, but Aaron is his brother, and he was a priest. And him and his sons, they were like the priesthood, and they would use the tabernacle as this sort of sacred area. And in building the tabernacle, they were given particular instructions, and they sought out people who were very talented artists among their people. And those people who are talented artists, they were said to have been given the spirit of wisdom. It's really interesting because what is being a really good painter, being a really good, person who can sculptor, what does that have to do with really being wise? Well, wisdom is about fundamental understanding of life at this deep level of experience, at a like really rich level. So, for example, it's wise to understand when it's maybe impossible to get through to someone, or when it's good to take a chance. Like, it's wise to know these things. And what that has to do with art is that basically, when you become wise, when people understand life in this very rich, deep way, they understand like the depth of the mind very well. They understand life in a very rich way. And when you make art, your mind is reflected in the art. So a rich, wise mind creates something that's very deep to look at, that imparts wisdom, where like wisdom is reflected in the message of the art. Whenever you consume any art, that art has a message. And the message isn't like, it's not something that's airy fairy. It's just part of anything you ever like about music or movies or TV shows. Like, some movies are very sad, some movies are very heroic, some are very funny, some songs are kind of very upbeat, and some songs are very negative, and they kind of like go into the negative emotion too much or in the wrong way. And that's all because it reflects the mind of the artist.